the impeachment drama, and the senator sort of laid this out. How it plays out remains to be seen. But it's not like Mr. Biden is getting any help from his comm shop. All right, the market soared over 300 points today, hitting the 37,000 mark for the first time in history. The jump came after the Federal Reserve announced they were leaving interest rates unchanged. They signaled a possible cut in 2024. This comes after more good economic news. The unemployment rate fell this week, and inflation across America has slowed. Still means prices are going up, but inflation's going down. So the White House could be popping champagne, rallying support around the president. They could bring him out for a big, exciting news conference in the press briefing room. Poll numbers, though, are stumbling. They're in the tank, really. And you didn't see President Biden today. You didn't see him taking a victory lap, either in the Rose Garden or in the East Room or in the Blue Room or in the press briefing room or even in the Oval Office. Trump used to come out all the time and champion the market. Biden did not today. Missed an easy opportunity to put points on the board. Hear now political consultant Shermichael Singleton and former D.C. Democratic Party Chairman Scott Bolden. Gentlemen, it's good to see you both. All right, Scott, I'm going to start with you. I got three explanations that I came up with for why we didn't see President Biden today to celebrate this. One, his press shop's incompetent. There's evidence for that. Two, because the middle class and the working class of America has been left behind with the market rally. The economy is the third rail for President Biden. Three, and there may be reason to believe this, that the press shop doesn't want to put President Biden out there in an unscripted situation. They don't want him taking questions from the press. I'm not sure which one's better or worse, but you get to pick.
There's a fourth one, that Biden isn't Donald Trump, and he doesn't come out and do press conferences every day to lie to the American people or to give hyperbole to the American people.
He wouldn't even have to lie, though. He could say it's at 37,000.
Well, here's the challenge, right? These are excellent numbers. Bidenomics has been his cornerstone, and Bidenomics is working. But the challenge is that the American people still aren't feeling it when you look at those polling numbers. Now, give it a day or two, he may come out and support those numbers and not take a victory lap, but to say that we're moving in the right direction. But if I were the Republicans, I'd be concerned about these numbers, not because it's positive news, but because it's positive news in December, and the election is in November. Biden's going to be the nominee. If these numbers continue, you're going to see the president touting them, and more importantly, this economy is going to change, and people are going to start feeling it. For example, energy prices are down 5 to 6%. The Consumer Price Index indicates that inflation is on the way downward. And so over time, America's going to
put you out in the Brady press briefing.
You put me out, and you don't want me to go through the economic numbers, but it's all positive news. It's all positive news.
Can I say, though?
And why do the Republicans want a bad economy for America simply for political purposes?
But can I say, though, the idea that Bidenomics is working, I just don't think that's true for me.
Just saw it.
Wait, hold on a minute. Success on Wall Street does not mean success on Main Street. And there's a reason why.
Employment is down.
There's a reason. Employment may be down, but if the price and cost of goods is still higher than they were 4 or 5 years ago, it doesn't matter if I have an access to job. Those are on the way down, too. Because I'm still not making enough money to afford it. But let me just say this, Leland, really quickly. There was a stat that just came out about a week ago. You need about $2.3 million for the course of an American's lifetime to ascertain the American dream. $2.3 million. Most Americans can't afford it, Leland. In fact, the statistic went on to cite that most individuals that fall in this categorical middle class that's barely non-existent are short by $1 million of that. And so it went on to say that this idea that the economics are improving may be true for individuals at the very, very top. But for people who are working everyday jobs, people who are trying to buy a home, it's not existent. They don't feel it. They don't see it. Versus during the Trump years, they did, at least in the first 2 years.
And Donald Trump's talking about that right now. He's in Iowa making this point. But this is a larger issue, though, about the Biden press shop and how they're doing live pictures of President Trump. Kamala Harris' husband, Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman, posted a tweet that massively mischaracterized the history and meaning behind Hanukkah. 8 hours after posting it and people noticed, they had to take it down. That was the tweet that was problematic. And I guess, Scott, I'm asking you, are Democrats a little bit frustrated with how this White House is handling the president and handling communications?
I wouldn't say frustrated, but from a political standpoint, the campaign hasn't started yet. There's a lot of growth there for sure. But I don't think they're frustrated. I think they've got a job to do for the president, and then they've got a campaign to run. And the media and others are really itching.
No, he sounds like a Republican.
But hold on,
they're not executing
to get into this campaign. He's going to be the nominee. This campaign hasn't started yet, and when the campaign starts, and when this economy continues to improve for everyday Americans, not rich folks, but you sound like a Democrat.
Hold on. This is how you know he's a lawyer and charges by the hour, because he filibusters the whole time.
Well, look, Leland,
you get the last 30 seconds.
He's right in regards to, at least as of today, Joe Biden will be the nominee for the Democratic Party. But every single Democrat that I talk to on background of the strategists, they are worried and concerned about Joe Biden. The campaign has started. They have not done a great job executing the successes that they might believe that the president has thus far, because they know that they aren't resonating with the American people. People think he's too old. They think he's past his prime. They don't like the vice president. They want another option, which is why Donald Trump, despite everything he's going through, appears to be ahead of President Biden by 5 to 6 percentage points.
Okay.
Who would have expected that just 2-3 months ago?
The justice system is going to take care of Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.